I know when you're looking at the Bengals, you're looking at their defense, but from Jamar Chase's game, what can you appreciate when you enjoy it?
Just the long ball that I think Burrow threw to him on like a 70-yard bomb, just how effortlessly he caught the ball. So he's just a great receiver. Tip my hat off to him with, what he's done the first 3 years in the league. It'll be fun to watch Sunday, but I think Spoon will get the best of him.
Hey, he ain't doing nothing but just praising his teammate, though. You know what I'm saying? That's what he's supposed to do. At the end of the day, it's about game time reps and game time decisions. So he's going to get the opportunity to get his matchups and just see who win that matchup.
I don't know why DK Metcalf why would you want to stir up Jamar Chase after he has 3 touchdowns? And you've got this secret weapon in Devon Witherspoon, who was pretty damn good against the Giants 11 days ago. Why do you want to write that check on behalf of a teammate and put him in a spot where Jamar Chase is going to be stirred up? And I don't know that Devon Witherspoon is going to be locked up on Jamar Chase everywhere he goes. Pete Carroll likes using Devon Witherspoon with flexibility. A little outside, a little inside, blitz off the corner, do all sorts of things. This guy's a combination of Rondé Barber and Troy Polamalu potentially, with his instincts and that chess piece dynamic where he can go anywhere and be anything at any time. But why would you want to put extra pressure on the situation, Peter? I don't get it. That at the podium, DK Metcalf would make it even tougher for Devon Witherspoon, to the extent that he is going to be covering Jamar Chase, to have to get it done.
I don't know. I don't think it really matters. If everybody knows that Witherspoon is covering him anyway, I doubt that Jamar Chase either exits this week or enters this game thinking, "Oh, I'll show you." But
this stuff that Peter, I got to disagree with you.
Metcalf is sticking up for his guy. Go ahead, disagree.
I got to disagree with you. Time and again.
You think that Jamar Chase is going to play harder
to
stick it up Devon Witherspoon's rear end?
Yes. Time and again, we see comments like this before a game, and you're inclined to poo-poo them, and then something happens in the game where the guy gets it done, and the guy's sticking it in his face, and the guy does get pissed off. It does happen. They act like it doesn't bother them. And then when they go out there and have a big game, you can see by their reaction that it did. And then the quotes after the game, it did. It does. It's real. They try to downplay it, but it's real. These guys are human beings, and they get pissed off the same way the rest of us do. And why do you want to stir it up at all? When Jamar Chase, who got stirred up on his own because he's not getting the ball, I'm always effing open. That was his quote coming out of their loss, when it's kind of like, what the hell's wrong with the Bengals? And then he goes in and he tears up the Cardinals for 3 touchdowns. I'm just saying, why do you even want to go in the direction of anything that will get this guy stirred up? Because I firmly believe that, you get to weeks where you just kind of coast. Hey, I feel good. I had my 3 touchdowns. We'll go do what we have to do. Yeah, it's going to be a tough challenge. But then why? It's just, I think it's an emotional and physical game where the more determined you are, it can make a difference. I think it does make a difference at times. So we can disagree on that. I respect your opinion, but I just think we've seen it time and again. There's enough empirical evidence there. Sometimes guys do get pissed off by the things people say, and sometimes it does make a difference in their performance, in their preparation, and everything they do. They become laser focused all week long to go out there and prove somebody wrong, prove themselves right, do whatever. But I personally think, based on 23 years of covering this sport, it's a real factor that they'll try to downplay it, but then we'll see it play out.
If on Sunday night or Monday morning we hear stuff from Jamar Chase saying, I wanted to stick it up Devon Witherspoon's rear end after what DK Metcalf said, if he says anything like that, if he says that, I will, in the immortal words of DK Metcalf, I will tip my cap off to you, Mike Florio. But you know what? I'll bet you right now, 2 prime tickets to the Seinfeld Film Festival, which I just invented. But I will bet you 2 prime tickets that will not happen. And I I think that it'd be one thing if DK Metcalf said, Jamar Chase is no match for Witherspoon. I got my guy. He's going to shut him out. He's going to hold him to one catch. All he said was, I'll take my guy in that matchup. I like my guy, or whatever his quote was. Big deal. Who cares? It's not like he's saying, he just finished praising Jamar Chase for being great, okay, and for having a great game. And then he said, this week, I'll take my guy. I just, maybe it's being covering this league for 40 years. But stuff that gets talked about during the week, time and time and time and time again, gets forgotten by 9 o'clock Sunday night because it just doesn't matter.
I talked to Tom Brady about that, the guy who's just like Michael Jordan and coming up with anything he can to get himself extra motivated, and he'll make some stuff up if he has to. I still think to that divisional round game against the Chargers they won a few years back, and he's on the field talking to Tracy Wolfson after when he said, no one believes in. It's like, Tom, what the hell are you talking about? Everybody believes in you. But you do whatever you can to get that chip on your shoulder, to get that extra focus, to go the extra mile, to make yourself extra prepared, and to be extra emotional about it, because it is an inherently emotional and physical sport. And I do think. See, I picked the Seahawks to win the game, but now I'm going to be rooting for Jamar Chase to have 3 touchdowns again so we can have this conversation next Friday. Either way, it'll be interesting if we remember to compare notes on what happens with Devon Witherspoon and Jamar Chase, and even if he covers him on a regular basis. We shall see. As to the game itself, I still don't know what to make of the Bengals. They're up, they're down, they're in, they're out. The calf is healing, the calf is aggravated, who knows? But the Seahawks have extra time to get ready. And, Peter, the Seahawks are 16-4 since 2018 when they play in the East Coast time zone. This 10 a.m. body clock thing does not faze them. They're traveling today to Ohio.
That's amazing.
Yeah, they're traveling. They're coming today, not tomorrow. They're going to be ensconced. They're going to be acclimated. They're going to be ready to go. And I still don't. I don't know why. The Bengals are favored by 3 in this one. I think the Seahawks are the better team. They've proven it week in and week out, except for that weird fluky aberration against the Rams to start the season. They've been getting it done week in and week out. Hell, they went to Detroit and beat the Lions.
Look, Mike, I find this line fascinating too. But one of the reasons why I believe that this line is the way it is, it's a very, very simple reason. That everybody looks at what we saw in the Bengals last week as the Bengals. Well, finally, Joe Burrow, something happened. Some miracle happened to his calf. Some magic wand got waved over his calf, and he's better now. Did that happen? Did he just say, shoot, I'm going out and playing my game. If I aggravate it, I aggravate it. Who cares? And quite honestly, Mike, I don't think we're going to know if Joe Burrow has aggravated, his leg, because you remember how the Patriots always used to play games with the injury report with Tom Brady. Some weeks he'd be on there with something, and then, other weeks he wouldn't be on there, and it was almost touch and go. Maybe not touch and go whether he'd play, but he really had an injury, And so I kind of look at this and I say, I just don't think you're going to hear very much talk anymore unless Joe Burrow can't play about that injury. And I know we're going to talk about Deshaun Watson in a couple of minutes, but I believe that we have been waiting to see the real Bengals, waiting and waiting and waiting. And last week we saw them. So everybody says, okay, Bengals are back. Let's put them where we think they belong, which is, say in the top 7 or 8 teams in football. Do we put Seattle in the top 7 or 8 teams? Maybe right on the border of that. But I think that the Bengals at their peak, Mike, if Joe Burrow is good, are better than the Seahawks at their peak.
I don't disagree with that. I just think one win against the Cardinals isn't enough for us to say the Bengals are back. They've got issues on defense. Their offense, as Chris Sims always says, seems unimaginative and uncreative. And finally, they realize just throw the ball to Jamar Chase when all else fails. But I just think the Seahawks, with extra time to get ready, they've proven they know how to win in this portion of the country. And they probably like the fact that they're underdogs in this one. They probably like the fact that they're flying under radar, and we'll see how good they are. They've got a hell of a stretch coming up, Peter, starting Thanksgiving. They've got 49ers, Cowboys, 49ers, Eagles. We're going to learn a lot about the Seahawks then. We're going to learn a lot about them on Sunday when they go to Cincinnati, and also the Bengals. I agree with you. The Bengals are one of the few teams that can go toe-to-toe with the Chiefs, but they got to win enough games to get to the postseason, and we'll see if they can continue what they started last week. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.